Hello guys, Wes Harrison, Above and Beyond Auto Repair, and I'm on my way back from Colorado from doing some indoor skydiving training, and I've got about 9 hours and 38 minutes to go according to my navigation thing. So I thought I'd make some videos about some questions I get all the time on auto repair. This subject is on the starting and charging system of your vehicle. The starting and charging system consists of your battery, your alternator, and your starter. Your battery, in the battery video, I went into detail on it. On the basic battery, it's important to make sure that the terminals are nice and clean, corrosion free, and you have battery protected on it. Anymore, batteries don't really take water. They're almost all maintenance free, but if you do have a battery that needs water, be sure and check it. Your battery, as a general rule, batteries last about 5 years, and you can spend a lot of money on a very expensive battery and it'll last about 5 years, or you can just get a middle of the road battery and it'll last about 5 years. The battery life on average is about 5 years. The alternator is the charging system for the vehicle, and what it does is it produces the energy necessary to recharge the battery after starting the vehicle. They either basically either work or they don't. There's not really an in-between, and I have seen bad batteries make alternators test bad. The best way to test your alternator is to have it put on a load test and make sure that it's putting out the current that it's supposed to. Now, Uncle Joe used to pull the battery cable off, and if the car stayed running, he'd tell you that the alternator was working good. Do not do that on computerized cars anymore. Alternators are putting out, on average, 90 to 135 amps just on your basic everyday vehicles, and it's because of all the creature comforts, the power windows and the AC, and just all, it requires that much energy, just all that stuff to run it. So what happens is if you pull off the battery cable, the battery actually keeps the alternator from going to max output, which can spike the electrical system and fry everything that's electronic in the entire vehicle. I've seen it happen a bunch of times. Don't pull the battery cable. Have the alternator tested properly. It's the best way to do it if you suspect that there's an issue with the alternator. The other side of this on the starting and charging system is your starter. Now, there's no easy test for the starter either. You can do what's called a starter draw test, and what it'll do is it'll put a starter under a load, or when you go to start the engine under a load, you disable the ignition system so the engine won't start, and you crank it for about 20 seconds and you read how much current the starter's drawing. Now, here's a tip. If it sounds like it's turning over slow and the battery and the alternator test good, it needs an alternator. It needs a starter. That's usual. Or if the starter just clicks when you turn the key, that's a warning sign that your starter is getting ready to go out. You can't just change the starter solenoids anymore. They're built in as an integral part of the starter. So between all three of them, the most important thing is keep the battery cables clean, corrosion free. Make sure that the alternator serpentine belt, or the serpentine belt that drives the alternator, is nice and got the proper tension on it. It's not cracked and broken, all that, because that'll leave you stranded. That drives everything, actually. And the starter, if it starts clicking or sounding funny, it's giving you the indication that it's about ready to go. And that pretty much wraps up your starting and charging system so that you have a basic understanding of what's going on. This is Wes Harrison with Above and Beyond Auto Repair, and if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to give us a call at 816-453-8282 or aboveandbeyondautorepair.com. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye-bye.